Hi, so today I just want to briefly share with you 4 ways to help you keep your clients engaged and motivated. Because as we all know, if you want to run successful classes or be successful as a personal trainer or someone in a similar environment like that, then you need to find a way to keep your clients happy, coming back and engaged. So let's go through what some 4 key ones could be. So the first one is going to be setting regular goals. We all know how to set SMART goals, or at least I hope we all do now. But the aim with setting goals is to do them regularly. 12 weeks tends to be one of the most popular and most scientifically proven periods of time for people to actually see improvements. So it makes sense to try and get all of your clients to have 3 monthly goals. So every 3 months there's a new goal that's being set. So this helps them because it's something for them to look forward to, it's something for them to work towards. Everything that you do with them can then be structured and orientated towards that. Plus you can give them things that they can do at home, activities of daily living and things like that that can also help support them towards that goal. Now, I don't know about you, but I have in the past run classes for the sake of running classes, and people come back because they enjoy them and it's social and it has lots of other reasons to be there too. But there's been no way of actually monitoring progress for that one individual because I'm too busy trying to look after lots of other people. So one of the focuses for me, especially in a class environment, was trying to get people to develop their own 3 monthly goals. Obviously I help them and support them, but then they've taken some responsibility for it, they've got the ownership of it, and they're just really sort of focusing on what they want to do, and therefore as a result they're going to be much more motivated to do it and then quite adherent at coming to your sessions in order to actually reach that goal. So it's helpful for you because you can track progress, you can track that what you're actually getting them to do is obviously very effective, and for them it's something for them to work towards. People often drop out, as I'm sure you have maybe in a different scenario, not necessarily fitness orientated. People drop out because they don't realise they're making progress, or they lose interest because things haven't changed and they don't have anything new to look forward to. So by making sure that every 12 weeks you set them some new goals, or they set themselves some new goals, whichever way it is, will be a really effective way to keep them coming back. And another reason that you can then say to them when they are having their low moments of motivation, you can say to them, well, look how far you've come. This is like what you're doing now, what you did before, and you're still aiming to get to here. So it helps work with the client and keeps them going. So that's a simple one. Hopefully we all do goal setting anyway, but sometimes not necessarily in the right terms. So 12 weeks, as I say, it's still a fairly short period of time, but still long enough in order to get results. And if you look at most scientific studies and things, they're all done, especially interventions, on 12-week referral periods. So 12 weeks is the way to go, I would say. So the next one then is to actually use functional tests or fitness tests, depending on who it is you're working with, to collect baseline data and then collect data throughout an intervention or an exercise class or a one-to-one session. Now it kind of links with the previous one. By being able to collect regular functional data, you can then set new goals. So functional tests they cover a lot of different things, but just to highlight some, you might have like the 6-minute walk test, the 30-second sit to stand test, hamstring flexibility, shoulder flexibility, those types of things. You might have other range of movement tests or other fitness tests, for example, the 1-minute step in place test or a step test. You decide what you think is most functional for your group. So if you're working with older adults, then those ones I just said would be most specific. If you're working with antenatal clients or other special population groups, then you might want to tailor it depending on what their own personal goals are. But if you set functional tests, then people actually know where they're at now and they can see where they can get to. Now I run the 6-minute walk test in my group environment, so I have like 15 people in there, for example. 15 people in a class, it can be really hard to set 3 monthly goals, for each person, because I don't have the time to sit down with them and work with them one-on-one on those. So by doing functional tests periodically, everyone does the test on the same day. We do the same test every single time, and I normally do it at least every 6 weeks, if not every 12 weeks. And people just jot down their results and they can see very quickly and effectively how far they've improved. And if they haven't improved, then we can talk about why there might be reasons for that, like they've missed a few weeks or they've been ill or whatever it is. So it gives them some sense of motivation. It also gives them something to focus on. So when they're doing the shuttle walk on a normal day, like in a normal class, they do it for 1.5 minutes in my sessions, for example, they can start pushing themselves a little harder in that 1.5 minutes because it's going to help them long term get better at their 6-minute walk test score. So that gives them some motivation, and a lot of my referrals, I'm talking in GP referral here and like older adult classes, they actually really enjoy it because they are competing against themselves, that's first and foremost, but also there's a little bit of competition in some of the groups between people, and it's playful competition, nothing aggressive. But by doing that, you know, people are like, okay, so what did you get? And I want to get that next time. So it helps with kind of a bit of community building as well as motivation for their individual goals. So it's really important to make sure you do some sort of functional or fitness testing related stuff on a regular basis, because if you don't, how are you going to prove that what they're doing in your sessions is actually effective? How is it helping them? Like, you don't have any way except for saying it is. It's helping you. So you need to collect some sort of data. So research what you think would be most effective for who you work with. Don't need to do all of them, just maybe a couple, and say, like, these are the things we're going to do on a regular basis and really work on improving these. So setting functional fitness tests regularly in combination with the goals will be a really great way to motivate and keep adherence in your sessions. So my third one is to then integrate group challenges. So again, kind of links on a little bit to getting that community building and a little bit of competition between people. But if you have, say, 30-day challenges, or you might have repetition challenges or time challenges for different things, depending on the environment you're working in, it creates a fun environment for people to want to come back to. So for example, if you are working in a gym, you probably often see for like the general fitness things, people do like rowing time trials and challenges like that. So think along those lines and adapt it for your target population. So in ours, we do 30-day challenges where we get people to track their steps that they do per day, and the person that meets the 10,000 step challenge each day for a set period of time, i.e. 30 days, they win a prize. And it's been things in the past like buying them a pedometer so they can carry it around a bit easier than always having their phone on them, for example. Other challenges we've done kind of link back to the functional tests that I previously said about. So stepping up and down on the step was one of them, and I get people to do that for either 30 seconds or a minute, depending on which group I'm working with. And the person that improves the most over 30 days, we do it at day 1 and then we do it at day 30, and then we look at the percentage improvement of themselves. They're not competing against someone else, because that's not fair. If everyone's got really different starting points, then that's not a fair way to judge it. But we judge the percentage of improvement per person, and everyone's spurring each other on to do a bit better, because really they're just competing against themselves for that one, but in a group environment, which is really motivational. And I found that really effective for getting people to want to come back each week, because they want to improve that area of fitness so that they can actually develop their percentage improvement and win the prize. So any kind of challenges, it doesn't have to be 30 days, it can be a lot shorter than that, but kind of trying to get it so the group is involved. It's not about a one-to-one challenge necessarily, but it is about engaging the group. So again, just have a think about who you work with, what would be most suitable. Sometimes the challenges can be done at the same time and actually out in an environment. So you could get people to do like a 3-mile walk challenge, like together. So everyone goes walking together, and that encourages them to want to walk on a regular basis to get to that 3-mile point. So again, have a think about that. That might be a good way to help motivate and engage some of your clients. And then the final one is to actually make sure that you involve the people that you're working with in your sessions, because the biggest reason that people drop out of sessions, whether that's classes, whether it's one-to-ones, is because they've lost interest, or there's been no real commitment for them to need to go. Like, I don't really have to go today. So in an environment where the instructor is really effective, most people want to come back because they know the person's expecting them, the person likes to see them, they talk to them. You know, there's nothing worse than going to a class where the instructor doesn't even really say hi or acknowledge you entering, because there's like 30 of you in a room. So by being an instructor that creates that bond and that rapport with everyone that comes in, they'll want to come anyway. So that's a great way to improve motivation and adherence. But on top of that, we actually want to make sure that you say things to them like, okay, so what do you want to see in next week's class? Or what are your favourite exercises? Tell me what it is that you would like to work on in the next few weeks. You know, how do you feel like this is working towards your goals? Do we want to change anything? Do we want to adapt anything? Actually asking these questions is so simple, but so many instructors don't do it. They think, you know, I know what I know. I'm the one that's got the knowledge here. I'm qualified, so I will decide on the most appropriate exercises for you. And of course, you are the one with the professional judgment, but integrating what they like, what they dislike, what exercises they want to do, what ones they find fun, by putting the two components together, you'll be much more effective instructor. And in doing so, you'll really motivate and engage your clients. So I do this at the end of every circuit training session I run just for the general population. That's not even with special population groups. And I say, you know, what exercise do you want next week? Or is there anything you're looking forward to doing? And every week someone will name at least 1 or 2 exercises. So for the next session, we just make sure that we've integrated them in. So again, that's very easy in circuit training because it's individual exercises. But it doesn't have to be hard. If people want to work on a particular area of fitness, then focus on that area of fitness as long as it's not going to be detrimental to them. So at the end of the day, really just focus on making sure that you integrate the client in the whole experience from the beginning right through every session and to the end, and get them to have their input and work with them throughout that. All right, so just to recap, those 4 ways to actually improve adherence, motivation and engagement with your clients is firstly to set 3 monthly goals, so i.e. every 12 weeks be sitting down and getting them to either work out a goal that they want to work on or work with them depending on what environment you work in. Make sure that you collect baseline data and continuous functional fitness test data. So whether that's the ones I named or other ones that you're going to research, it's good to try and make sure that you have a point of reference that you can tell them how they've improved from. Then we want to make sure that we integrate challenges, either 30-day challenges, repetition, time challenges, anything like that, that helps the group engage. Or if you are working on one-on-one, obviously that will be more individualized, but it works in both environments. And then finally making sure that you actually allow them input into what they're doing, so they're not just doing what you tell them to do each week that they come along, because that's not enjoyable, and you wouldn't like that if you were being told what to do each time you went into fitness and had no say in the matter. So hopefully that's refreshed some maybe new ideas or things you might just think slightly different when you go into your next session. You might ask a little bit more in terms of what they want to do. Okay, if you have any additional feedback, any other ways that you think are really effective at motivating, engaging and maintaining adherence with your clients, then please feel free to write them in the comments below so that we can all share ideas. It'd be great to hear them. And if you have any other ideas on different topics that you would like me to cover in either the revision sessions or just helpful videos, ideally like this one, then again, please let me know in the comments below. So I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.